It's time to take a look back at my 2023 Toronto real estate market predictions and see how I did. Let's go. Prediction number one, I said inventory would be down in the first half of the year and up in the second half of the year, and I nailed this one. Check this out. January through June of 2023, new listings were down compared to the same months in 2022. You can see those first 6 negative % difference numbers going down the chart. Then look what happens in July. The number of new listings starts to considerably outpace how many places were listed in the same month of the previous year. This happens all the way to the end of the year, with December 2023 having 1 more property listed than what came out in 2022. Prediction number 2, buyer demand would be healthy in the first part of the year, that there'd be a less than normal drop-off in the summer, and then a substantial increase beginning in the fall. I was partially right about this one, but the part that I got wrong, I got very wrong. So the market at the end of 2022 showed some signs of life as far as sales went. So I thought that the first part of this year would be okay as well. And for the most part, I was right. Sales in January through to April were pretty much in line with the numbers that we saw in the last normal markets, which I consider 2018 and 2019. And with so much talk of a potential recession coming, I thought people may stay closer to home during the summer, not travel as much out of country, which would give them more time to be engaged with real estate in the summer. That turned out to not be true. Sales were fine in June and July and August, but anecdotally it seemed like no one I knew cut back on summer travel plans at all. And then with all the talk of possible interest rates coming towards the end of the year, meaning 2023, or in early 2024, I thought the fall would be busy for buyers, and boy, was I wrong. What was difficult to predict at the start of last year was the 2 interest rate hikes that we saw in June and July. These 2 increases, in my mind, really put a damper on the fall market, and sales were the same, if not worse, than what we saw in the second half of 2022, a notoriously bad market. Prediction number 3. I said prices would be up modestly compared to 2022. Wrong. As you can see, average prices were down 6 of the 12 months, completely flat in 2 months, and small gains in the remaining 4 months, but to be fair, those gains could just be due to property types being sold in those given months. Prediction number 4. I said annual sales would be up compared to 2022, and I was wrong. Again, Toronto had almost 28,000 sales in 2022 and a little over 24,000 in 2023, a 14% decline year over year. Those 2 summer rate hikes really killed the fall market, and the sales numbers were so low in the early part of the year compared to 2022 that there was just no hope of eclipsing the previous year's sales. Prediction number 5, that we'd see a modest increase in rent prices. I'll give myself a partial win for this one as well, but with a big caveat. Rent prices increased dramatically at the start of this year, and a report from rentals.ca showed that rents went up 5% between May and August, which is quite substantial. But rents fell in Toronto towards the end of the year. So for me, it really depends on when someone was renting a place. And if you look at the overall rent increases of 2023, they were fairly modest relative to previous years. So that's it, a score of 50%? I admittedly don't love making predictions because if I could tell the future, I'd be living on the fancy island that I own with my family. That being said, I do have 2024 predictions coming up, why not? So make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss this year's prognostication.